Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live again and again and again. I'm loving being live as much as I have been this last week. So we're here to discuss Manchester United's upcoming match against Burnley, a match that I think all of us are going to feel relatively confident about. But first, let's go to my guests. First up, we're joined by Mr. Carl Edgar. Carl, how you doing, man?
That was good, mate. You all right?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to have a midweek match. It's something a little bit different. It's kind of like Champions League, except it's not because we're playing Burnley. But, I mean, same thing.
It's nice under the lights. It's good under the lights.
Exactly. And then, of course, as always, we're joined by the one and only Matthew McFadden. Matthew, how you doing, big dog?
Big dog, that's a waiver. You know what? I'm actually doing really well. Quite happy with the Chelsea draw. I'll bring it on.
Yeah.
But it means a big game in like the space of a month or so, but who cares?
I'm actually with you on that. I'm kind of like, who cares? Like, Chelsea, I ain't worried. I ain't worried about Chelsea. Like, in all honesty, I am genuinely not worried about Chelsea. I think we're going to put the beating to them because Chelsea just – they're not the same Chelsea. I know that we have struggled at Stamford Bridge in the past, but I do think that we will win that matchup without problems. So, gentlemen, let's go ahead and let's start off by talking about our opponent. Burnley was a surprise team last year, wound up doing very, very well, wound up in the Europa League, but Europa League wound up being their I don't know what's the best way to put it. Their downfall? I think that'd probably be a good way to put it. Like, Europa League killed them. So, guys, we'll go to Carl first. Carl, do you think there's anybody we should really be worried about going up against Burnley?
Not really. They've been poor this year, haven't they?
Yeah.
To be fair, they've got James Tarkowski at centre-back's decent. But apart from that, mate, no, not really. I think they're going to be hard to break down. You know that's exactly what they're going to do. They come back, stick 10 men behind the ball, have that one outlet. But apart from that, mate, no, I honestly don't. It's just, considering how well we've played and who we've beaten recently, I don't see why Burnley should be an issue. But it's Man United, isn't it? You never know what's going to happen.
Well, and it's the Premier League. I mean, you genuinely don't ever know what's going to happen. I mean, we could be as confident as we want against Burnley, but Burnley could come out and put in a great performance, and we don't put in a good one. It could happen to anybody. And Jack, to answer your question, I will never celebrate anybody scoring against us ever. It doesn't matter if it's Christian Pulisic or not. I might love Christian, but I'm not gonna celebrate somebody scoring against my club. Andrew, can I have my say? Pegheads, you can always have your say, my friend. But let's see here. I just wanted to make sure, be wary of Joe Hart on the bench. Yes, we are always wary of Joe Hart. Always. But Matthew, Burnley, any worries, man?
Nah, Burnley are shit. I think we can just end the stream there, to be honest.
All right, end the stream.
Yeah. See ya.
Subscribe, whatever. Like, I don't care. Just, we're done. Out.
Nice and short and sweet. Burnley are rubbish. We played against them, and I think we won. Was either 2-0 or 3-0? Because I remember it was a couple of decent goals from likes of Fellaini and Smalley, and that was under Jose Mourinho, and we beat them easily.
Yeah,
and that was away from. When they come to Old Trafford, they're obviously going to put 10 men behind the ball, but get an early goal and the floodgates will open.
And so Paul Gardner brings up a great point. Burnley will be an ideal game for a bit of rotation, maybe get Fred and or Pereira some minutes. That's a really great point. It's Michael Hubbard said it's not Burnley's season, and Sav just said done, dusted, great show. Exactly. We're out, guys. We're just out. But just to give you guys a few different stats. So this season, Burnley have scored 23 goals on 217 shots, with only 67 of those being on target. So that's kind of a interesting stat right there. And then they have conceded 43 goals. and that would be they only have kept 6 clean sheets this season. So, I mean, Burnley realistically, I mean, they are having a really poor season, and it's a team that we should handle with no problems. I mean, their top goal scorer in the Premier League is Ashley Barnes with 4 goals, and then you had Sam Vokes who's at 3, and James Tarkowski who's at 3. So, I mean, real talk. Burnley really don't have anybody that I'm looking at and I'm like, oh man, we should be scared of that one specific person. Oh man, we should be scared of that one specific person. And honestly, I mean, Carl, I'll go to you to ask you this. Last year, Burnley were actually a relatively solid defensive team, and this season it's quite the opposite. I mean, is there any one specific player that you're worried about for Burnley?
Nah. I think Burnley are a team that I think overachieved for a long time. Do you know what I mean? They came up, I think, a few years back before they actually stayed in. Came up, went straight back down, and then came straight back up. And then, like I said, overachieved for many years, especially last year, like you say, with the Europa League. Was that like last year or this year they were in the Europa League?
It's this year. It was this year. They were in the Europa.
Yeah. It's like, last season when they finished 7th or whatever, got into the Europa League, and like you say, it just killed them off. They just haven't got the depth. They haven't got the team. They haven't got anything really. They're just, you've got a half-decent manager that's tactically knowledgeable. Do you know what I mean? Because he's beaten big teams before, but I think we'll be right. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do. OTS job. I did see that you said I want to see some youth coming off the bench with no transfers, which I agree with, and I think most everybody will agree with. I would genuinely like to see the likes of either Mason Greenwood or Tahith Chong or Angel Gomez or James Gardner or Ethan Hamilton. I'd love to see some of the kids coming off the bench, especially against lower competition. Burnley, a team that has been struggling all season. They're definitely not having the same season as last year, that's for sure. But I would genuinely love to see some youth come off the bench. Vandy Candy said, don't rotate. Burnley will be parking the bus big time, which you're probably right on that. They probably will be. And then Statman Doug busting out the stats. He said, Manchester United have the highest PL win rate for Tuesday fixtures with 62.5%. Sean Dyche is unbeaten in his last 5 games played on a Tuesday. That is an interesting stat right there.
Where does he get these from?
Well, it's because he's Statman Doug. He's
genius.
He gets these because he is the stat man. Like we don't ask questions. We just pay homage. That's what we do. But Matthew, same question to you. Is there any one specific person that you're worried about for Burnley?
I think there's only one player, and that's Ashley Barnes, who's the dictionary definition of shithousery. There was a game last season, I think it was Boxing Day, where Burnley went 2-0 up within like 5 or 10 minutes or so, and he was one of the scorers. He's a bit of a handful when it comes to testing out a defence. Not exactly the most clinical striker, or isn't the greatest player by any means, but just an absolute presence in the box. Kind of like their answer to Flaney in some respects. So Ashley Barnes is going to be a bit of a difficulty in terms of matching up 1v1 against them, but with how Lindelof's done against these big, tall, strong target men, I don't really think it should be much of an issue, to be honest.
And listen, I completely agree. And then Jack Coleman did say that Goodmanson can be dangerous, to be fair, which, I mean, we do respect everybody's opinions in here, and he very well could be. Matthew which Jack did ask about the Mark Goldbridge pictures, which Peg has. I don't know what to tell you, man. So what I would recommend if you're trying to get on the United stand during the calls, make sure that you leave your audio unmuted. You can mute your mic, but just leave your audio unmuted. That's the best recommendation I can have for you. And then Jay Hart with one of my favorite comments I think I've ever seen in our chat. He said, don't ask the architect about the Matrix. Exactly. We do not ask Doug where he gets these from. We just let him do him. So, guys, I think that something I would be very interested to see in this coming match is how much squad rotation we will see, because I think that we might see a change up in the midfield. I do think that we will see Bailly and Lindelof as the center back partnership again. I think we will see Delo get a chance in a run out there. I mean, Matthew, I'll go to you first on this one. Do you think that there will be, like, I'm not asking specifically about the lineup, but do you think there will be a lot of change up going into this match against Burnley?
To be honest, I just think it's going to be the same team again. Or at least maybe like one or two changes at most. What I'd like to see, though, is someone like Gomez or Chong on the bench, like it was against Huddersfield, I think. And hopefully, that will get the fans excited as well if we're in a really convincing position and we can chuck them on for 20 or 30 minutes. But yeah, I think in terms of like the starting lineup, I can understand wanting to rotate, but at the same time, while we've got this huge run of massive big fixtures that obviously going to be more triggered in the likes of Burnley, I think it's just important that we get wins here.
Yeah,
continue that momentum.
No, and I agree with you. I think that too big of a squad rotation can be a bad thing. Like, I mean, we saw that in our first matchup in the FA Cup, that we basically rotated almost the entire squad, and you kind of saw a little bit of, what's the right word for it? Because we still won. I mean, a disorganization. I mean, I think that could be a good way to put it. I mean, Carl, same question to you. Do you think that there's going to be a lot of squad mix-up in this match? And even better question, do you think that we'll see any youth wind up on the bench?
I think we need to freshen it up a little bit. Like, one or two changes here, like bringing Sanchez in for give Lingard a rest. He's played 3 in a row or something now. I think you might. I don't know about the youth though. He seems a bit like, I know he's given a few of the lads a chance and he's taken them with him, on match days in the squad. But they've not really got a chance. I don't know. I think we definitely do need one or two players to get minutes. Like likes of Fred and stuff. Give him 45, 60 minutes, then bring Herrera back on, and freshen it up, make it, because you're going to need these guys. Coming up through like say PSG. We've got Arsenal again, Liverpool, Chelsea now. So we are going to need some guys fresh, but I think you see one or two changes.
And I agree. I do think that we will see a couple of changes. I mean, I don't think we'll see, much like Paul Gardner said. He said rotation in moderation. Yes, I mean, that's a great way to put it. Susan, I have not seen you in here before. Good to see you. And then Michael Hubbard said, I'd get Sanchez off the books, which, I mean, at the moment, I mean, I feel like people like Sanchez with how many competitions we're in. I mean, we've got PSG coming up, we've got Chelsea coming up, we've just got a crazy amount of big matches coming up in a very short, tight frame and window. And so I think that selling people at this moment would actually be to our detriment, especially since I do not believe that we will be bringing anybody in. We are, 3 days away from the end of the transfer window? So I don't see us bringing in anybody. Doug busting out the stats again, Statman Doug. So Burnley have won 45% of their 22 Premier League points in their last 4 matches, while Man United have won 41% of their 44 points in their 6 outings under Ollie. And then he also said Marcus Rashford can become the 3rd youngest striker to score in 5 Premier League games in a row, behind Nicolas Anelka and then Jose Antonio Reyes in 2004. And then Anelka was in 98. Whew. That would be interesting. Because, listen, I really hope that Marcus Rashford gets another goal. And I know Matthew was talking about a couple of his bets that he's got on for today, or for tomorrow. So, I guess for Matthew's sake, I hope that Rashford doesn't score because he's making some big bets on Pogba. But, we'll root for like 19 goals tomorrow. Or I don't know if you guys saw it on Twitter. I mean, apparently the Sevilla women's team won 32-0 today. 32-0.
The Benfica women are better than that. Have you seen the Benfica season?
No, I haven't. Or maybe it was Benfica. Maybe it was Benfica that I saw that won 32-0.
I think Doug retweeted it earlier. They played 16, scored 269 goals, won 16 games, conceded none.
That's just crazy to think about.
I'll be
Mental,
honest,
isn't it?
it's game time.
Like that it makes our. You're welcome, guys. And said Doug said thank you. But honestly, we're Man United women's team. I don't think that 32 goals will ever happen. Like that's insane. That's absolutely insane. I love our women's team, but 32 goals to nothing is bullying, and I don't support bullying. Okay. But all right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's jump into this next section. We obviously Manchester United. We're flying high. 3-1 win against Arsenal. We have not lost a match while Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been manager. We're 8-8, looking to go 9-9. I mean, Carl, first to you. How do you think this match is going to go? Do you see us changing up from the way we played against Arsenal, pressing higher? How do you see the match going?
I think we're definitely going to win the game. You know, I said in the group chat earlier, I said it'd be 3-0, 3-0, 3-1. I think the game plan will change from Arsenal, just purely because of the fact they're not Arsenal and we're at home. You know, you can't, you don't want to be soaking up pressure against teams like Burnley. That's what Jose did, do you know what I mean? And so I do think it will start quick. I think we'll score early, just for the raw pace and power that we got through the middle of the pitch now. It'd be a different game than Arsenal. Definitely, we'll actually attack this team instead of soak up the pressure and countering. I think it's going to be totally different.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And Jake Pert said once we get the first goal, it'll be comfortable. It's about getting that first goal, though, which that is a fair comment. I think once we get the first goal, that's where things will really open up.
I think the biggest key to this game is going to be game management. Do you know what I mean? If we are two up, we need to manage the game better than we did, or we have done. You know, who was it in the FA Cup against Reading? We went 2 up, looked like we were flying, didn't manage the game that well. But I think that comes with complacency, where we've won 6 on the bounce, everyone's buzzing. We've gone 2-0 up against a team that are in a lower league than us, and we just thought we were going to win 7 or 8 or 9-0. Do you know what I mean? So I think game management is going to be key and scoring early.
And so Jack Coleman did give us a little bit of a score prediction early. He said 2-0 United, Martial and Lukaku goal scorers. Remember this. All right, so we will remember it. We definitely will remember it. And then Doug asked, where is the Jesse Lingard statue outside the Emirates? To all of us. I'm pretty sure that, if I heard correctly, it's right at center pitch. I think that I heard it was put right at center pitch. Can you guys confirm or deny that? You guys are the ones over in the UK.
No, I heard it's being built next to DTC.
You know what? I heard. Actually, that's probably in the better spot, anyways. Right next to DC.
Did you see that Lingard updated his Instagram location to the dance floor?
Yes, that was amazing.
If that's absolute cringe or genius.
No, it's genius.
Have you seen the Wikipedia of the Emirates Stadium?
Yeah, with Jesse Lingard being the owner.
The owner, yeah.
Yes. And then Jake Pert said 4-0 for United. Rashford 2, Lingard and Pogba to score. So I mean that's another good one. DT got a copy of the statue for his backyard. Oh, that's definitely 100% true. I think that we should actually volunteer to tribute to that statue going into DT's backyard. I'm 100% for it. Matthew, so same question that I asked Carl. I mean, how do you see this match going? Do you think we'll see really any tactical change up from Arsenal to Burnley? I mean, much like Carl said, it is Burnley. So,
yeah, if this was last season, I'd expect it maybe to be like a tight 1-0 win or 2-1 or something, or maybe even a draw. Purely because how good Burnley were last season, but this season they're just atrocious. The only reason why they're not bottom is because Huddersfield are part of the league, and they're just a different breed then. But with Burnley, defensively they've been shocking, which is just something that you don't expect of them. And especially if they play Joe Hart in goal, because even though he had a good start, he was saving loads of shots. I mean, he's finished as a decent level keeper. He's probably championship standard at best right now. So if they play him, then it might be pretty funny. see how many goals go in. Yeah, to be honest, I think it's just going to be a fairly one-sided game.
Yeah.
I think against well, we countered them perfectly in terms of the tactics and actually on the field. We just set up to kind of sucker punch them really in the first half with those 2 goals in quick succession, and then just sit back and say, all right, have a few shots at us, we'll hit you on the counter, and we did it to like absolutely devastating effect. But I think with Burnley, we'll probably be forced to play much higher up the pitch.
Yes.
Burnley really go for the long ball. And as long as we have a few defenders back who can actually cope with that, let's just get people forward, get men forward, get people in the box, try and create stuff. And you know what? Might as well go for us the whole game. Well, because if we're 2-0 up, 60 minutes or something, then I mean, there's the odds of Burnley coming back to get a point, or maybe even 3 there, is minimal, absolutely minimal. So I just like attacking from the first minute, really.
So, I mean, and Matthew, something that you did mention there is that Burnley do play a lot of long balls, and it's something we have actually – and Doug actually said too harsh to call Burnley a long ball team, and we put the question mark with that. I mean, they play a decent amount of long balls. I'm not saying they play a lot of them, but I do think that having Lindelof back there, who has actually been winning most of his aerial duels recently, like – there's really no denying that. And then also having Eric Bailly back there, somebody who is physical, I think could make all the difference in the world. And Jack, just so you know, while I might not seem like the aggressive type, that's also the type that you definitely want to be worried about. I'll just say that. Because you don't know what I've actually done for my life or what I've done for training. We'll leave it at that. I'm not going to get into anything else that you addressed there, though. Let's see here. So Jack Burt said that's why Bailly needs to start this alongside Lindelof. And then Paul Gardner said we'll have far more of the ball versus Burnley than we did versus Arsenal. So there will be much more emphasis on attack, which I 100% agree with. I do think that we will see a lot more of the Cardiff tactics than we will the Tottenham and Arsenal tactics, where we kind of sat back and really hit them on the break. I think that we will see us press high up into their final third. I think we'll be looking to win the ball back as quickly as possible. And I actually do think that we could see a relatively decent scoreline. Jay Hart said Andrew was asked to join the Royal Rumble. Listen, I can't confirm or deny if that's true or not, okay? Not going to confirm or deny. And then let's see here. And then Doug did say United will dominate possession. Saban, hey, just hit refresh, man, because right now I'm not seeing any issues in terms of like on my screen with any kind of buffering or anything like that. Jake Pert actually said maybe even Mata will start so he can unlock the defense, which it would be interesting to see if Mata got to start kind of in that 10 false 9 position that Jesse Lingard has been playing in. I do think that that would be an ideal position for him. So, you know what, guys? Let's go ahead. Let's get into our lineups here. Carl, I'm going to go to you first, my friend. What is your predicted lineup for what? I'm sorry. So I saw the United Stand fan cam with the guy that was from Norway that was talking about exactly how to say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think it was like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or something like that. I think it was pretty good, wasn't it?
I mean, if he's from Scotland, then fair enough.
I mean,
that was quite Scottish.
I don't know exactly how he said it. I'd have to go back and watch, but he was very much so adamant about how you're supposed to say his name. But sorry, Carl. How's Ollie going to run out this team, man?
Obviously, Lee Grant in goal. Obviously not Lee Grant. It'd be Daya, Dalot, Bailly, Lindelof, Shaw, Matic. It's going to be Pogba, and I think he might change Herrera and possibly put a Fred in there, someone that's not played minutes. Sanchez, Rashford, and possibly Matty, and give Jesse a rest. 1 or 2 changes, I think. Give some guys some minutes.
I think from the Premier League, match, our last Premier League match, I think that we will see a couple of changes. I'm not going to include the FA Cup into like how we lined up the team, but I do think that we will see a couple of changes from the last Premier League match to this one. And I do like the couple of changes that you made, Carl. I really do. So Matthew, same question to you. How do you think Ollie will line up this team? And guys, real quick, I will say this. If you want to get your predicted lineups in, get them in now, and I will read them out for you. Matthew muted himself.
No. I was just waiting on his finish. Actually, it myself, so I'm quite proud of that. Right, so team prediction. I'm going to go with quite a similar lineup to what Carl said. It's going to be De Gea in goal. The lone right back, I think he has to start over Ashley Young. For some reason, there was so many people on Twitter saying, Ashley Young plays well, give him a break. And I posted my match ratings. Ashley Young was gash. Gashly Young. That's what he is. Good one up. Fifth back pairing of Lindelof and Bay, they have to start now. I think Bay's, against Arsenal especially, proved himself that he can actually be that composed yet, commanding centre back at times. Kind of like what Finish was, obviously not quite on the scale of him. Short left back, not the greatest player to ever grace his earth, but he's doing okay. Matic should defend in midfield. I think he might go with Fred as the other midfielder, even though Herrera's been in amazing form recently.
Yeah.
I think he might make one or two little tweaks. And I think this type of game's a game to really give Fred that confidence. However, to be fair, I thought the same thing against Huddersfield, and he was awful. Then Herrera came on and did everything that Fred should have done. As the number 10, sort of more advanced midfielder position, has to be Pogba. If it's not Pogba, then I'm going to be raging because I got a bet on him. There's quite a few choices for right wing. I'd be tempted to even say Sanchez there. I think he might make one or two changes in that front three, or maybe even Lukaku, to be honest. Depends on who else his other front man is. So I'd probably go Sanchez right wing, striker Rashford, left wing Martial.
Okay, I like that. And so real quick, I'm going to read out your guys' lineups. So Jack went with so real quick, I will say this for Paul Gardner. So Paul said we won't rely on so much on pace tomorrow. So we could see Mata come in to make the most of his defense splitting passes. We'll need to get through 11 players, which is very, very true. Jack said De Gea, Shaw, Bailly, Lindelof, Delot, Fred, Herrera, Pogba, Martial, Rashford, Mata, which that actually is a pretty good lineup. Then George said...
That season's probably true. So I'm going to change it to Mata in the right wing.
And see, here's the thing. I think we could see Mata wind up being kind of playing in that same Jesse Lingard position, because I think we're kind of playing, in a sense, a 4-4-2 diamond a lot of times, which I like. I like seeing the kind of a 4-4-2 diamond style, and being able to see the 10 false 9 position. Jesse Lingard has been playing that very well, and I could see Mata slide right into that spot. So George Kyle did agree with Jack's team. Michael Hubbard said De Gea, Shaw, Bailly, Lindelof, Delot, Pogba, Matic, Fred, Martial, Lukaku, Rashford, which I like that team as well. I really do. Jake Pert said Bailly was brilliant on the ball, so calm when we bring it out from the back when he need to. He's underrated as a ball-playing center back, which I actually agree with. He is very calm when he gets on the ball. Then let's see here. Paul said De Gea, Young, Bailly, Lindelof, Shaw, Fred, Matic, Pogba, Martial, Mata, Rashford, which, oh man, I'm the only change I'm going to make to that is I think that Delot will get a start. I really do think that Delot will get the start. And I think that we will see De Gea, Delot right back. I think we will see Bailly and Lindelof again. I think that on the left, you're going to see Luke Shaw. I think pretty much Luke Shaw has been nailed on as being the left back. I think that Ollie actually believes in playing a guy that can naturally play the ball with his left foot. I think that we will see a midfield three, which this is the only place where I'm not 100% certain how he's going to do it, because I can see the potential for Herrera sliding back and playing the CDM position, but I could also see Matic playing, Herrera getting a break, and then Fred coming into that spot. But I think it will depend on who he's going to sub in that midfield, because I think we will see one sub in the midfield. And I think depending on that, especially after hearing the way that Ollie was talking about transfers, he did specifically mention Andres Pereira, which I wouldn't be surprised to see Andres Pereira get a start here soon, because of him saying that he always shows up in training, always works his butt off in training, and I think that he will reward that eventually. And this could be a match where he could reward that, and we could see Andres slot into a midfield three, which I think would be a fun thing to see. But for me, I'm going to say that it's going to be Herrera that's going to slot into the CDM spot. Fred and Pogba are going to play together in that kind of, midfield where Pogba's going to be coming back further, but also playing, further forward. I do think that we'll see that. I think we will see Juan Mata come in and play the Jesse Lingard position. And then I also think that we will see Rashford and Martial playing up top together. And for me, I think that is a team that should go out there and they should just obliterate Burnley. 100% should obliterate Burnley. So let's see here. I want to see if anybody else got some do your best Burnley accent. Listen, I don't really have a lot of accents out here, guys. We out here in 2019 trying to do things different. And accents.
Even that English accent he tried a few streams ago, so it's too early for that.
I mean, I listen. I don't feel like embarrassing myself any more than I have to, and since I have to do a lot of dances apparently on these streams, we try and avoid accents out here. So I think that so let's see here. I know I saw Pancast. There we go. Pancast said De Gea, Shaw, Bailly, Lindelof, Young, Fred, Herrera, Pogba, Martial, Mata, Rashford. And Michael Hubbard did say, I wish he had pace, which I think you're talking about Mata, which, man, it would be amazing if we could get the Mata that we bought from Chelsea. I would love that. Because he still had enough pace to be able to really press high up the pitch. Let's see here. Saban said De Gea, Young, Bailly, Lindelof, Shaw, Matic, Herrera, Pogba, Rashford, Martial, Sanchez. I really do like that. George Kyle said Lingard is probably my new secret favorite player. I don't even think it's a secret, George. I mean, we all know that you're the Ronaldo's biggest fan, and we all know you're actually a Real Madrid fan, but we don't discuss these things. We don't discuss them. Doug said he's going to go with De Gea, Delo, Lindelof, by Shaw, Matic, Herrera, Pogba, Martial, Rashford, Sanchez. Vandy Candy said we can sub Pogba off when we have won the game. Without Pogba, there is no link between the midfield and front line. I agree with. Jake Pert said, I saw on Twitter that Mata has been offered a new one-year deal with an option of an extra year, which we've talked about this on the show before, guys. And I actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's talk about it again. Juan Mata on the last year of his deal. Would you give him another one-year contract, a club option for another year after that? Carl, to you first.
Yeah, I'll give him another year. Do you know what I mean? He's a good player. Even if he's not good enough to start nowadays, he's still good enough to bring in. If you do need that one guy, you do need that guy that people have said to unlock that defense. So I mean, he's not useless. So I think one was he 31 now? So you would potentially have him until he's 33 years old. Why not?
It's a tough one for me, Matthew. I'll let you answer next.
No thanks. I just see it as another year of slowing down pace on the right hand side, because Pogba's a number 10 at the moment, and there's no chance Mata's getting ahead of him regularly. So really, if we're going to play him on the right hand side, which has proven to be an absolute disaster this season, to be honest. Which is
if you look at it,
even though technically he's a really good player, and from short range free kicks he's the best in the world at. but he's just lost all pace. And I think some people on Twitter are just saying, "Oh yeah, give him like a new contract because he's one of the nicest footballers around." I don't care about that, to be honest. It's what they do on the pitch, really, that's the main thing. But yeah, it's as far as Mata's concerned, very good player. But how we've used him so far out on the right hand side, it's just not really going to have much effect on the team.
And listen, by the way, Danny Dobson, good to see you. And then Paul, listen, if we ever get 1,000 people watching live, I hate to say this to you guys now, but I will not ever be able to give 1,000 lineups. We will literally be here all day and all night, and I don't think that that's going to be prudent to a normal life. But I love you guys. I do love you guys. But for me, this is where it's hard because we know that we need to be ruthless in what we do, especially coming up here soon, because we need to start dropping players that need to be dropped and keeping players that need to be kept, and then bringing in new talent, whether that be through the youth system or whether that be through transfers. And there's a place where I agree with both of you, because I do think that if Juan Mata is given the opportunity to only, like, we bring him back to play at the 10, and I'm not saying start every game, but start at the 10 or play at the 10 whenever given the chances, and be a guy that can basically be a coach / player for one more year, I'm okay with it, but only if he's played at the 10. If we are playing him out on that right wing, I do not want to give him another contract. I love you, Juan. You are, like Matthew said, you are genuinely one of the nicest people in all of sports, not just football, all of sports. And I will wish you nothing but the best going forward in your career. But to me, unless we are going to be playing you in an appropriate position, which is at a 10 / false 9 position, I don't want to give you another contract, because I feel like you will be wasting away on the right wing because you're just not going to be able to keep up, which is very, very unfortunate to say. And so I'm going to be really interested to see what a lot of you guys have to say. So, I mean, a lot of people said no right off the bat, just one word answer, no. George Kyle then said ruthlessness is absolutely paramount. Michael Hubbard said absolutely give him the contract, but I can understand if he wants to go, which I agree with. Jack Coleman said no, bring through Gomez in that position. Doug said he heard Barcelona are after him, which I heard that PSG and Juventus are after him so far, which I think that he could suit those leagues very well. This sort of acceptance of mediocrity is what got us into this crap mess. Sav said nothing wrong with keeping him as long as we use him correctly, but we refuse to play him at the 10 where he belongs. He doesn't belong out on the wings, which I agree with. But we don't even play to his strengths, nor did we play to Mickey's strengths, which is true, Vandy. That is very true. Tekken Boy said Mata is still a good option off the bench. He has added some free kick experience when we are subbing him late into games, which I like that point. Like, bring him in, when you know that you're going to be trying to win free kicks and everything like that. I think that's a fantastic point. But guys, let's go ahead. Let's move on to the very last section of this show. Let's talk about how we think the match will go. And let's talk about what do we think our score predictions are going to be. So, Carl, to you first, my friend.
I reckon, it's going to be 3-0, 3-1. Around there, because I don't, even though Bailly's come back, Lindelof is doing well, I still don't think. We're a bit leaky. I think that's because we're so attacking now. On the flip side of that, though, and I think we will go after him. I think it'll be a quick start. I don't think we'll be sitting back. I think we're just going to go there, get the game done early, and then rest up for obviously the big games coming up. Yeah,
which we are going to need to do. And guys, just so you know, if you want to get your score predictions and get them now, and I will be sure to read them out for you. And then, Matthew, same question to you. How do you think that the match will go, and what is your score prediction?
Like I said about half an hour ago, I think it's just going to be a fairly easy win, to be honest. I think if Ole wins the next game, then he's going to be the first manager in Premier League history to win his first 7 games in a row.
And the first manager to win 9 in a row as well.
See, that's a good stat. So yeah, to be honest, I think he's going to do it. And I don't think there's really going to be any real issues. Like I said, there's maybe 1 or 2 players from Burnley who might be a threat, but not enough for them to claim all 3 points or even 1 point for that matter. In terms of score prediction, I've done it before on this channel, and it didn't quite work out against Reading. I'm going for 5-0.
Ooh, 5-0. And that's not just because you have a bet on it, right, Matthew?
Definitely not because of that.
We never would advocate for betting on this show ever. And if you are going to gamble, gamble responsibly.
Get himself a hat-trick.
Listen, if you are going to gamble, obviously gamble responsibly. If you ever are having issues, this is obviously completely unendorsed. If you are having issues, talk to somebody. Talk to somebody, because you should not be wasting your money away on gambling. But guys, let's. For me, I think that this is going to be an easy win. Easy win. I think we're going to go out there. We're going to just handle our business, and I think that we will see Manchester United win this game at least 3-0, because of the fact that we will be pressing high up the pitch, and we will see Manchester United basically do what they've done against all of their lesser opponents to this point, and that's just basically dominate the pitch. So I think it will be very interesting to see. So let's see what you guys have to say. So Vandy Candy said 2-0. This will be close, a couple of second-half goals to win it. Saban said 4-0, Rashford to Martial and Pogba. Let's see here. Sorry, guys, I've lost my spot. Michael Hubbard said 2-0. Danny Dobson 5-0. We got a couple of 5-0s here. George said 5-0. Sav said 2-0. Paul Gardner said we will dominate them being at home, attacking. I think we will score a few. I'm going with 3-0. Doug said I'm going to be kind to Burnley. Manchester United 2, Burnley 0. Rashford to break the record, and Pogba to score 2-0. Is being very kind to Burnley, but this feels like a 3-0, 4-0, basically big win. Not great for Burnley. Tekken Boy said Burnley is a physical side. We might want to start Lukaku over Rashford to bring Rashford late into the game when they are tired out the defense. I'm going with a 4-0 victory. Paul did say scrap that. He's going with a 4-0. Pankaj is going 6-0. Jesus. That's a spicy score. George Kyle said he's been gambling based on Arthur's predictions, and he's lost a lot of money. Listen, I told you I don't advocate for betting, and Arthur doesn't either. Louis said 3-1. Susan said 4-0. And guys, I know that Arthur's around here somewhere sleeping. But guys, we're going to wrap up the show here. I've been joined by 2 fantastic guests today, and I love being joined by these gentlemen. And we did give Craig a 3-stream ban because he did miss out on the draft stream. We did. So unfortunately, Craig has got at least one more stream that he's got to miss. So sorry, Craig. We love you, but we cannot accept faulty behavior in this chat. We just can't. So, in all seriousness, though, guys, Carl, thank you so much for joining me. Anything you want to shout out, man?
No. If you're not subscribed to this channel, then make sure you are, because he's mint.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Right.
It made me a little bit blushy up in here. Look at this. It's because of the red beard. Then Saban went with 6-0 as well. Another spicy score. Matthew, as always, I mean, in case you guys didn't know, Matthew makes these. Buy them now. Buy them. Matthew, I heard that you have a new bestseller.
Yeah. It's an absolute meme of a poster. It's of that day when Garbage absolutely obliterated DT. And for some reason, people are wasting their money on it. But you know what? I don't care. That's up in the store. I did it as a bit of a meme, and someone said what a couple of people say, put it up in the store and I'll buy one, and they delivered.
Hey, listen, and you did say that, and they are a limited time option. So,
limited stock as well.
So, Louis, just so you know, the web link is in the description below. It's offsidegraphics.com. And I know Louis is actually from Arizona as well. So, Louis, if you do want them, I mean, they are fantastic. They are great posters. And he makes them for all teams. And I know for a fact if you want a custom order, let's say if you wanted something that wasn't on the store, I know Matthew will make it for you. So, guys, I got the hey one a few weeks back, said Jake Pert. I do, Jake. I remember seeing you post your poster, and the De Gea one is absolutely mint. It is. Then let's see here. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything else, guys. All right, guys. But thank you to my guests. Thank you to everybody that joined live today. I think this was actually a record for viewers for a preview stream. So thank you to everybody that's joining in. We've got new people. If you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe. You can actually, if you don't see it, thanks to Nikki Ducky, I have a new watermark that's in the bottom right-hand corner that says the Red Bearded Red on it. You can click to subscribe, which thank you, Nikki Ducky. I really appreciate it. And guys, Manchester United tomorrow, we're going for 9-9 for Ollie. We're going for a big win for Ollie. And let's see if he can't take over Pep Guardiola's record. Let's see if he can't do it. So, gentlemen, ladies, everybody out there, I hope that you have a great night, a great day. Wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, keep doing you, because I love you guys, and you guys are awesome. Let's go, Manchester United.